At precisely 8:03 in the morning, 9 freshly built micro cottages on the downhill slope of my yard flicked their porch lights on in perfect HOA synchronization. A line of tenants marched out with reusable tote bags. The HOA president, megaphone in hand, shouted, "Welcome to Birch Haven Phase 2. I checked my deed and said to my dog, "Buddy, I think we accidentally own a subdivision." I'm Evan Dorsey, a software architect and introvert who bought the corner lot in Cypress Hollow for the quiet and the generous acre-and-a-half size. I avoid conflict, but I was wrong to think people would leave me alone. The HOA's crown jewel is Lydia Farnsworth, a woman in her mid-50s who refers to herself as a community advocate. She drives a luxury SUV with the plate HOA Queen. She runs the board intensely and has been president for 7 consecutive years, as challengers mysteriously receive a flurry of violation notices. While I traveled for 3 months, Lydia managed a landscaping project along what she called my rear easement. I returned to find a brand new cul-de-sac, stamped concrete sidewalks, street lamps, and 9 tiny, coordinated houses arranged like a Pinterest board. Lydia knocked on my door with a gift basket and explained that the rear half-acre was community-adjacent land. She handed me a courtesy notice stating my slope had been activated for neighborhood vibrancy. She had already leased all 9 cottages and installed a keypad gate, which locked from my side of the property line. When I politely disagreed, Lydia's smile vanished. I started receiving violation letters for things like grass envy, my lawn was too green, creating unfair aesthetic pressure, and hostile fencing posture. My fence cast intimidating shadows. The board announced I owed a harmonization assessment of $24,000 for sidewalks I never approved. Clipboard-wielding patrols paced my fence line at night. One of Lydia's lieutenants, Derek, whispered through the slats, "You cannot fight progress, Evan. This is about the greater good." "It's my land," I replied. He winked, "Not according to the map." Lydia had filed her own version of reality, an HOA improvement plan with a community logo but 0 city endorsements. She convinced a friendly notary and her cousin with a drone to stitch together a map that conveniently shifted the property line. I hired Margaret Chun, a licensed surveyor. 2 days later, her official report landed on my desk with her professional seal. The 9 cottages sat entirely within my legal parcel boundaries, fully and undeniably on my property, approximately 40 foot inside my original 1978 survey pins. I retained attorney James Whitmore, known for being ruthless in boundary disputes. He reviewed the evidence, laughed professionally, and said, "Mr. Dorsey, this is one of the most blatant cases of encroachment I have seen. We are going to file immediately." He filed for a temporary restraining order, a quiet title action, and a lease penned on every cottage. The county sheriff served the papers while Lydia was in the middle of an Instagram live video, her face going from confident influencer to pure panic. The judge immediately froze all HOA accounts connected to the cottages, assigned a court-appointed receiver to collect rents, and barred the HOA from entering my property. Then the city building department arrived. Inspector Sandra Rodriguez was visibly angry. No permits had been filed. The electrical system was illegally connected to the clubhouse, utility theft. The water and sewer systems were makeshift and non-compliant. Code violation fines stacked up, unpermitted construction, illegal electrical, zoning violations, and unlawful subdivision of property. The HOA's insurance company sent a letter with coverage void bolded 3 times. The total remediation cost was soaring. In court, Lydia brought her truth binder. I brought the surveyor, the city inspector, the receiver, and a title historian who produced the original 1978 property plat, showing Lydia's map contradicted every official document. We played drone footage showing Lydia directing construction crews on my land. Lydia's young attorney argued good faith. The judge cut him off. "Counselor, good faith requires a minimum level of due diligence. Building 9 structures without verifying property boundaries does not meet that standard." The judge's written order hit the courtroom like thunder. Title was quieted entirely in my favor. The cottages are legal fixtures on my land. The HOA was found liable for trespass and unlawful construction. Existing tenant leases were converted to ground leases payable directly to me at fair market rates. The HOA must fund complete code compliance or face mandatory demolition, running through me as the legal landowner, with all costs reimbursed plus a 20% administrative fee. Today, 9 electronic deposits hit my bank account monthly, covering my mortgage and taxes, with considerable savings left over. Remediation cost the HOA over $90,000, plus my 20% fee. As for Lydia, the consequences were severe. Removed as HOA president and barred from any board position for 10 years. Personally fined $15,000. Ordered to complete 200 hours of community service building wheelchair ramps. Required to post a public written apology on the HOA website for 12 months in 18-point font. Ordered to pay my attorney fees, $38,000, and surveyor costs, $6,000. When the judge read the final terms, Lydia stood frozen, her face draining to a pale gray. She clutched her lilac-tabbed truth binder like a failed life preserver, utterly defeated by the rules she had tried to ignore.